A gift. You wanted a crown. You wanted somebody with high star so that they can boost your own. Your falling star.
Alright, Nigerians don't go dig up old Instagram post where Regina Daniel praised this her husband, Senator Ned Nwoko, for randomly dashing her $100,000 amid this her mother's claim that Senator Ned Nwoko no guide at all. And she also said that her daughter Regina didn't marry this billionaire for money, but instead supported the senator's election with $50,000, And while this Regina Daniels' mom, Rita Daniels, might be wrong, I'm not sure, in my own opinion, that she is completely wrong, and I'm going to prove that to you. Yes, in this particular video. But before I start, or before I continue on this particular gist, let me show you the old video that Regina Daniel posted, saying, telling the whole world how Ned Nwoko dashed her $100,000. She said, okay, I can't believe an alert of $100,000 was sitting pretty in my account since yesterday afternoon, and I am just discovering now. This is my husband. This my husband has a lot of mind-blowing doings up his sleeves, man. Thank you, baby. Okay, this is what she said, and she showed us these alerts. Okay. So like I said, while this Regina Daniels' mom might be wrong, she is not completely wrong, in my own opinion. I'm going to prove that to you. All right, so I'm going to show you what Regina Daniels brought to Ned Nwoko's life, and I'm not going to lie about anything here. But before I continue on this particular gist, welcome back. This is Queen Nation Niger, here with the drum support for our beautiful Queen literature, and with the report other celebrity gist and all the happenings on the media space. So if this happened to be your first time of coming to this channel, my love, you're always welcome. Please do want to click on the subscribe button, help us turn on your notification bell so that when next we drop gist like this, when I go be one of the first person to watch my videos. Okay, so let's go deep into what I want to tell you guys right now, because it gets as it be. So like I said, I'm going to tell you what Regina Daniels brought to Ned Nwoko's life that really changed Ned Nwoko's life to what he was to what he is today. When people talk about Regina Daniel and Ned Nwoko, they often reduce their relationship to wealth and youth. Yes, this is what a lot of persons have been doing. A millionaire marrying a young actress, that is all what it is to them, But if you look beneath the surface, you will realize that Regina Daniel didn't just marry into comfort. Yes, she herself shifted the energy, the image, and that social media currency of Ned Nwoko's entire life. I know a lot of people will argue with me on this particular point, but I am telling you for free, this is what it is. There is no two ways about it. Before Regina, Ned Nwoko was known mainly in political and legal circle. This is all they knew him for. Respected, yes, but largely anonymous to pop culture. His name didn't ring out beyond Delta State corridors of power. This is just the bitter truth. He was the kind of man people knew of, but they didn't talk about him. Regina Daniel changed the whole stuff. She changed everything when she came into the picture. She introduced him to a completely different audience, the mainstream, youth-driven public, almost overnight. This is how Regina Daniel changed everything. He went from a discreet Delta billionaire to a daily trending topic today. Through this particular Regina Daniel that we are talking about today on the media space, Ned Nwoko became part of Nigerians' social conversation. In doing so, she rebranded him. Not through corporate PRO, but through her magnetic personality and cultural influence. Her personality also softened him. Before her, Ned Nwoko's aura was that of a distance partridge, the type who exudes quiet power but little warmth. Regina's presence changed that completely. It changed that completely, through her openness, humor and affection on social media, she made him appear human, emotional, emotionally expressive, and even playful. Ned Nwoko wey dey always tight face like shit wey abeg God abeg o make man no go sleep for kiri man no go sleep for kiri this Christmas o, but this is the fact. I'm telling you guys the truth. The man come dey behave playful because of Regina Daniel. And Regina Daniel's social media presence projected a softer, more relatable image, one that turned a once intimidating figure into a man who could smile for camera, dance with his wife, and play with his own children. He no get time for his children before now. He no get that kind of time. But Regina Daniel changed that completely. That is soft power. I'm telling you, the kind that doesn't come from money, but from emotional connection and perception. Regina Daniel also became a bridge between generations. And I'm going to tell you this for free. She represented a digital era driven by social media, expression and relatability. While Ned Nwoko belongs to this old wall of political structure and traditional wealth, this is where Ned Nwoko belongs. There's no two ways about it. This their union, made those two walls. That of Regina Daniel and that of Ned Nwoko, imaged them together, and the result was almost immediate. She connected him to a younger audience that lives on social media, creating visibility in an age where attention is equal to influence. So Ned Nwoko become not just a politician or a businessman, but a brand today because of Regina Daniel. So that is why I'm saying that Regina Daniel's mom might not be completely wrong when she said that Regina Daniel's star now help Ned Nwoko, though there is a spiritual meaning to what this woman is saying. And in my next video, I'm going to tell you about the spiritual meaning of what this woman is saying. But let's just look at the physical part of it, or meaning of what this woman is saying. Regina Daniel really helped Ned Nwoko a lot. Ned Nwoko become not just a politician today, not just a businessman today, but a brand himself. And the proof of that transformation is visible in his political journey. Just check around. He had reportedly contested several times, and he has lost all of them. Despite his resources and influence, he lost almost 3 times. He contested 3 times, according to what we see for social media. He contested 3 times, and he lost all of them. But after his marriage to Regina Daniel, their love story saturating the social media, and everything changed. Everything changed because Regina Daniel was only 18 and Ned Nwoko was in his 60s. Exactly what I told you guys. Ned Nwoko was 60 years while Regina Daniel was around 18. I'm not sure he reached 20 when he married this Ned Nwoko. So when he ran this second, the fourth, or should I call it the fourth? When he ran the election again, Regina Daniel was by his side, not quietly, but actively, not like the other wives, campaigning on the trail with him, attending rallies, smiling for photos, turning politics into performance, That entire period was highly publicized and carefully staged for the right optics. She brought glamour, charms, and public sympathy, qualities that money cannot even buy. That is what a lot of people don't know. They are just jumping into a conclusion and saying all sort of things that they don't know on the social media. And all this that Regina Daniel did worked for him. He finally won the election, and now here he is, sitting as a senator today. So that particular outcome supported what many observed. Regina Daniel didn't just change his online image. She shifted Ned Nwoko's fortune. This is the bitter truth, and there is no two ways about it. So beyond politics, she also became the centerpiece of his public life. While Ned Nwoko has other wives, Regina Daniel's visibility and prominence effectively repositioned her as the face of his family. I'm telling you, She accompanied him to official events, charity functions, and state occasions. Always front and center. The woman, they follow him around. The others faded away quietly into the background. They just became sit-at-home wife while Regina Daniel was up and running, because Regina Daniel had this online clout. He gave people for social media now. It was intentional, pure. So every public moment became curated to highlight the youthful, glamorous image that Regina Daniel embodies. She became the family's ambassador, his mirror to the world. That is who Regina Daniel was to this Senator Ned Nwoko. So through Regina Daniel, Ned Nwoko also acquired something money could not buy: modern relevance. Dey easy, money no fit buy you. She gave him a digital facelift, published photo, coordinated appearance, family portraits, lifestyle storytelling, a lot. This woman has given a lot into this marriage. I'm telling you. If you ask me, and suddenly he wasn't just a wealthy man. He was a narrative, a lifestyle, an example of how influence evolved with image. So when people says Regina Daniel married Ned Nwoko for money, I understand completely. Yes, he married her for digital clout. A lot of people are saying this. Ned Nwoko may have provided the wealth, but Regina Daniel provided the narrative. This is what you must know. He must have provided that wealth that you all thought that Regina Daniel wants to marry. Yes, I know this is Nigeria. So a lot of persons would think that way. But she changed the narrative. She infused his world with youth, vitality, and visibility. She gave him emotional depth, social media dominance, and cultural relevance. Things that money and political experiences alone could never buy. Get that kind of money. So in return, he gave her structure, stability, and legacy. So Regina Daniel gave a lot to helped Ned Nwoko a lot, and Ned Nwoko also helped Regina Daniel a lot. So I don't know if I should say that Regina Daniel's mom is right for saying that Ned Nwoko is the one who is the gold digger here. In fact, I leave this for social media people to judge it on the comment section. What do you think about all this social media saga that is going on between Regina Daniel and Ned Nwoko? Drop that on the comment section. I don't want to say much again concerning this for now. See you guys in my next video.